This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Tom, Jaden Wilson's been in the green some in practice. I know Coach Pittman updated us yesterday, a little bit updated you guys here in Northwest Arkansas about kind of his status. You already lost Sam Mbake. Jaden's expected to contribute. What are your thoughts on maybe if he can't go first game, who steps up in his role?
Well, he's actually been working in the slot a little bit, and, so you've got Bryce Stevens, Isaiah Satania both there as well. Actually, the more we talk to these receivers, the more it sounds like everybody can be plugged in anywhere. I mean, we've seen Tesla in the slot, so I just think that he's in your rotation of 6 or 7. Now, if you had seen him fall in practice 2 days ago, and his reaction, you're like, oh boy, that could be really bad. Well, it turns out it's an AC, which I think was what was bothering him to begin with. But, I tweeted this yesterday. Good news for Razorback fans. He was catching the balls in from his teammates during drills. And, I didn't see him, put his arms completely over his head, but he was bringing his arms up to shoulder level, catching passes. And that's a really, really good sign. So maybe, just a bruise or a sprain, and he can get back. Quarterbacks tend to make it back within, a couple, 3 weeks of an AC, and he won't have near the same type of motions, but you want him to be healthy, and you feel bad because we had talked to him in the media room the day before that, and you could just tell how eager he was to be a contributor. He's like, man, I've been so long since I've played like I know I can play. And, his role was so minimal last year. I know he had a chance on a third down pass, and he dropped it in a game in the middle part of the season. Mm-hmm. And you're like, well, there was your chance, kid. But he's kept the faith, and I expect him to be in the top 6 or 7 this year.
Tom, another kind of status with Nathan Bax and then also Devin Manuel coming back. How do you think they've kind of factored back in coming back from what they've been dealing with?
You just kind of slowly working their way back. The good thing is there's a lot of tight ends, and I know he's one of the more physical ones, but now they got Francis Sherman and, other guys who can be the physical blocker type. So it's not like you had to rush Nathan Bax. He knows the system, having gone through the spring and what have you. So he's just a good, depth piece for sure at what could be a deep position. Emmanuel, to hear Sam Pittman talk the last few days, including with Chuck at the Catfish Hole last night, Chambly's surprised everybody. He's he's a guy. He's gotten this chance with Manuel out, and they trust him. So what I think all Arkansas fans are hoping is that you get a comfy lead against Western Carolina, and you're playing Andrew Chambly, you're playing Manuel at tackle. And if you have to sit Manuel, it's okay. They trust Chambly. So I think there's going to be a lot of that across the depth chart where they haven't been afforded that opportunity in recent years. I think we're going to get to see that against Western Carolina and Kent State.
You mentioned Coach doing his radio show last night. He's also spoken Little Rock at their Touchdown Club, another event in Northwest Arkansas. I know you pay attention and follow all of this. Anything that stood out to you in kind of his last week of really doing appearances and things kind of outside of the normal football week?
Yeah, actually quite a lot. We all have a feel for what we think Sam Pittman is, and I think he said this in Little Rock. People look at me and they go, hey, you're like a regular guy. And he's like, what else am I supposed to be? And so I don't know. I like that about him. I think Arkansas fans appreciate his down-to-earth type, behavior. Yesterday he said that of the 18 portal guys, they expect 16 to either start or be high impact in the rotation. That's huge. You couldn't afford to whiff on half those portal guys. So I think they're going to get contributions from so many different positions out of portal. And just to hear the team talk, the guys who are holdovers. So, the guys like Ty Washington and like Zach Williams and Jashad Stewart, they see guys added at their position. And where on some teams you look at that as a threat, the way all these guys talk is they look at it as, joining a brotherhood, and we're going to help spell each other and improve each other. And if you can keep that attitude maintain it through the course of the season, through the ups and downs, that's a plus for Sam Pittman. And what we've heard in the last couple of days is there was some issues with the team last year. I think some guys started worrying about NIL money and playing time and who's ahead of them on the depth chart. And Sam Pittman does not want to go through, a full court deal of that again this year.
Yeah, and you're just talking about the transfer portal players and how many were going to contribute. I think, Ty, you said earlier 11 of the 22 starting spots are expected to be.
I counted 11. Yeah.
11 players. I mean, Tom, I guess that's right in line when you think about the roster turnover with 38 new players. Having 11 potential starters out of that transfer portal group, probably right in line with kind of what you expect with the overhaul of the roster.
Yeah, exactly. And, I think the portal, I don't study every team in the country's roster, but I do know that the portal has been good to Arkansas. When you get a Drew Sanders, a 5-star, and he has the year that he had last year, and then you can tell other portal guys, look, 1 year, boom, this guy did it, and now he's an NFL draft pick. But you think of different positions, defensive end, wide receiver, the secondary, even linebacker. It's been high impact, and I know that Sam Pittman has talked about we want to keep our identity as recruiting freshman classes and then bringing them up, and you do have to keep that. But if they weren't adding through the portal the way they have, their depth would be nowhere near. I think from the looks of this, it could be the deepest team Arkansas has fielded maybe in ever. But just look at the D-line, look at linebacker and, cornerback. I feel like their depth is going to rival any team they've ever had.
Let's stay with the transfers for a second. We're with Tom Murphy, Arkansas Democrat-Gazette, Whole Hog Sports on the McClarty Daniel Hotline. One of the guys that was with Chuck last night, Tom, was Dwight McLaughlin, Nudie McLaughlin, and I think we know what to expect from him. He's first team All-SEC, is voted on by the coaches. No Quincy McAdoo, it looks like. Who do you think steps up as the second best cornerback on this team this year?
Well, Jaheim Singletary is running at the other starting corner, and who's to say that he might not have as good a year as Dwight McLaughlin? I mean, Dwight McLaughlin put his credentials, he put his film up last year. 4 picks, didn't give up a touchdown till the Liberty game, and that was kind of a broken play where, the guy was running around in the end zone. So he had a good season. Sam Pittman said, I think yesterday somewhere, Jaheim Singletary is going to be a player for them. And so I think he could be the guy. I think McLaughlin is one of the more interesting guys they've had on the team. If you guys watched, they came off the field a couple of days ago, and there was a question posed. If you could be a hero in any movie, who would you be, or star in any movie? And he chose the Truman Show. So not only a throwback, all these other guys are doing action movies like John Wick and Fast and Furious, and, Lord of the Rings. And Dwight McLaughlin throws out the Truman Show, where there's a camera on a guy's life. I think it was Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
And he's like, I think I can do that. And he's such an understated, talks under his breath type of guy. He's a interesting character.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.